All right, guys, today we are going to be reacting to Andrew Confronts Girls Who Cope Hard About Their Jobs. Jump in.
Our F-body is a great lay but not husband material, and guys are totally cool with that. But women get mad when we say 304s are not wife material and don't deserve long-term commitment.
What's 304s?
Lee, give me 1 second, guys. This is, I don't know why this... It's lagging a little bit. Oh, okay. So let's just drop it down a little bit. I don't think it makes a lot of difference either way, so...
I don't get mad when people say that. If that's what
Who's this?
you think,
Who's this
then
directed
that's cool.
to?
To me.
To you?
Yeah.
Do you have a response? Or?
I don't know. I'm reading. I'm trying to process
I think
Y'all can talk.
I think the person who has the best answer for this would be Madison, because she's been in the longest relationship at this table, and she does.
Oh, look at that. What's going on here? Oh, look at that. She's basically telling her, we got you. See? You see this connection right here? This is basically telling her, we are here to protect you. Don't worry about it.
What, do you feel like this has changed your relationship at all with your?
See,
It has
look at
made
Andrew.
it better. It's enhanced it. We were exploring new things, and it's been a shit ton of fun. And I challenge Andrew on the fact that sex work is inherently bad. I agree, it certainly can be bad. Human trafficking is horrible, and certain people maybe are very desperate and do it for the wrong reasons and do put themselves in harm's way, but that doesn't mean that's how everybody's going about doing it, and that is an all-encompassing truth for all sex work.
Let me show you how divisive this is. I'll explain. So when you say things like, when you're talking about harm, people tend to only look at harm from their own personal metric of what they think would or wouldn't be harmful. They never really externalize how the things that they do affect other people. So for instance, I find it harmful that you call yourself married. That's not a marriage. That's an abomination. From my perspective, total abomination is not a marriage. It's a joke, right? But think about this. You might not, like, from your perspective, you think, that's really harsh, or that's mean, or that's this, or that's that. But isn't it harmful to the value structure of the millions of men who think like me that you would cheapen and destroy the thing that we sanctify that much by calling it marriage? Like, and you just don't care, right? Because from your perspective, well, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. It's similar to when you OF girls will wear crosses inside of your porn shoots. And it's like, okay, well, let's just take the very symbol of this entire religion and pervert it to the maximum extent, right? And we're supposed to just be like, oh, well, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Pushovers and doormats, right? It's like, so anytime you're talking about harm, you seem to only internalize it. You never extend it out to how it actually does affect other people.
Well, I'm not a Bible thumper, so I don't believe in things being all holy and sacred.
Yeah, I know. See what I mean? You're internalizing
it's a
harm.
completely...
You only look at it from the prism of self.
Okay, now you're interrupting me. I was in the middle of my argument.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just explaining real quick, though, that's going to my point. That's all. But go ahead.
Marriage can mean a lot of different things to different people, and we stood in front of our family and friends and committed our lives to each other, and we get to pick the terms on how that turns out. And if we're both consenting adults and are completely happy with it, more power to us. I don't need God or whoever you believe in to agree with that, because to me that means nothing.
Yeah, but
and I don't wear a cross in my own.
You see how this makes my point for me. That when you think about things like harm or the principle of what you're doing in society, you think of it from the position of yourself, only from the position of you. Well, I'm not hurting anybody. Not doing anything wrong. We're two consenting adults. Should be able to do whatever we want. It's like, okay, but what about the greater duties that happen inside of society, or forming societies towards things that we want to see for future generations, which we do have a duty for. We do have a duty to do this. So the idea here is like, sure, you can say whatever you want. You can say this is a legitimate marriage. This is a thing which is true and proper, and it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. It's like, that's fine. But let's not pretend that it's not a complete and total assault on the values of millions of people who consider it to be an abomination, and that's just dismissed because you just don't agree with those values. And it's like, okay, well, that's not really you taking into account a harm principle. That's just you taking into account the me principle. It's all about me and what I want.
Well, I think maybe actually we're doing the world a service by showing them that there are alternative lifestyles available, and maybe that'll make you even happier than the one that society set you up to believe that you had to have.
Yeah.
And I would argue that Christianity can be very harmful.
Any horrible person on planet Earth can make the same argument. You know, like a drug addict can be like, hey, you know what? All I'm doing is showing future generations and the people around me that, hey, being a drug addict is just an alternative lifestyle, man.
Good point.
And it could even be a better lifestyle than the one you're currently in, bro. Literally anybody could make that argument for any value structure that they want.
He's so good at
so
this,
what we do
man.
is
I always listen to Andrew debating these ideas, but it's just the tactics in the way he does it. It's so impressive. I must say, very impressive, guys. How he can just listen to an argument and determine whether or not it has logic. It's a very difficult skill to obtain. Even as a guy, I read, I do a lot of stuff besides YouTube, and I'm a salesman as well, right? I sell life insurance and stuff like that. I'm a financial sales agent, basically. And even me, I have to use numbers. I have to use a lot of logic. It's quite impressive to see a guy like Andrew really putting these kind of argument to a context that you never thought about it. It's insane.
A holistic approach. We look at society as a whole. We go, is this really good for it or is it really bad for it? And any category you put fans into, it's basically always bad for it. Very few yields of good. Most people come out of it are damaged. Right? The mental illness rates are over the top. The amount of STDs are over the top. It promotes a lifestyle which is
very unstable lifestyle
or self-absorbed, where you become the center of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
There's no greater duties to society or to family. It's not a good lifestyle to promote. Never has been. So you think, well, this is an attack on my values or what I believe. It is, but to be fair, right? The very fact that people engage in it is an assault on the values of millions who think like me. So it's like, why is the harm only just one-sided?
Yeah, good point.
It's like it's very.
I agree.
Clear
the harm is dual-sided. And I think that a lot of your values are harmful to society, and that's the beauty of America. We all get to have our opinion, our freedom to follow whatever religion we want to, or no religion at all, and you get to have your values, and I can have mine. And I would also argue that sex workers are very safe because the amount of testing and prevention and conversations that take place over the average hookup in the regular dating world makes it a lot safer.
Can I also make a point that this
no. Look at that. See? Did I tell you about that, guys? When the sisterhood comes in, it's always to what? To protect each other because she knows very well where Andrew's coming. She knows very well where Andrew's coming, and they fear that. They feel to see even those ideas to be confronted and tested.
You respond about the arguments, then you jump in. The first one is like, okay, if that's what you value in America, that you can kind of do as thou wilt because right now you're allowed to, then you better value the rest of what America is, which is the value of the vote. And the fact that millions more people begin thinking like me as they get absorbed with degeneracy all around them than like you. And what we do is we vote out things like abortion, and we vote out things like women's rights, and we vote out the things that you find really precious because you insist on promoting the most degenerate shit possible. So if that is the case, then you can't cry over spilt milk when the pendulum swings back and people snatch that away from you. You don't have anybody to blame except American values at that point. And then over to the second call argument here is like, yeah, you can say that the values and structures that I have you don't like, or you think that they're harmful because, after all, you're basically just giving a graduated sexual education course to anybody who wants to jump in on it. But I can point to a society where abstinence was the order of the day not very long ago, and almost every woman got married when they were a virgin, and there was no STD rates, and divorce was very, very, very low. So thank you for improving that society. Thank you for improving it. Look around. Isn't it way better? It's way better, isn't it? Said nobody anywhere ever.
Good point, man. They called it clicked kind of early, but that is a good point. And I was thinking about this. Guys, we do have the power, guys. Think about this. We are the one that make these kind of decisions. We are the one that build society. We're the one that have to really improve in ourselves to make sure society is better, guys. That's it. we had to really think about these kind of, and guys, to be fair, promote these shows. These shows, I mean, do things like what I'm doing. Make sure you have a camera, speak your opinion, do these kind of things. That way we can help each other. Andrew has a great point. This conversation will never happen if they, feminists, right, would never overreach that power. They overdo it. They play the card. Now, at this point, it's true. Something happened in the conscience of men where we having these conversations and finally had reached politics. I think it's fair to say that in the next couple of years, we're not going to win all the wars. We're not going to win all the battles, guys. Some of the battles we're going to lose them, right? That's fine. But we have to just think about the long run, the goals, our kids, our family, our future generation. You're going to be a grandpa. Think about your grandkids. All these stuff that we have to make sure we make it a better place for them. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one.